There's been a lot of interest in our 11 Investigate story from last night. If you didn't see it, it had to do with Oscar Sweeney, a man whose body was found in the Campbell Soup parking lot in Napoleon late last year. Now, his death was ruled a suicide, but our investigation raised some questions. Lead investigator Brian Duggar joins us, along with investigative reporter Kaylee Marentet, to talk about that story and others that they're working on right now. So, Brian, what happens next in this case?
Yeah, people have been asking me whether I think this case was a suicide or a murder, and honestly, I don't know. I can see either scenario. But my goal with this story was actually get the gun tested. Why? Because if that gun doesn't match the bullet recovered, this case is clearly a murder. And if it does, it makes it more likely it was a suicide. And I actually believe this is going to happen. I just talked to the brother, Jay Sweeney, and he had just talked to the prosecutor, and she told him that she's willing to look into trying to get this gun tested. And I think the public's interest is certainly going to help. But Kaylee, you also got some reports today about Cedar Point.
Yeah, a story we haven't talked about in a little while. I'm sure you remember our investigation into the Cedar Point employee dorms. There were dozens of sexual assaults happening there throughout the years. It led to Cedar Point police getting dissolved and Sandusky police now responding to the park for all calls. I reached out to Sandusky Police Chief Jared Oliver for all of the reports of sexual assaults at the dorms and Cedar Point property this past year. What we got is hard to believe. There were 0 reports at the dorms and 0 rape investigations. There were 5 total reports Oliver sent me, and they were all for someone getting groped or acting inappropriately, but none of those happened at the dorms. So what did Cedar Point do to all of a sudden clear the dorms of sexual assaults? That's a question we'll probably never get the answer to because Cedar Point officials aren't talking to us. Also, I've asked Chief Oliver to do an interview multiple times for the past year to see how the transition to taking calls at the park went. Every time, he's declined. If you have any idea as to what's changed at Cedar Point, or if you worked at the dorms, you can email us at 11investigates@WTOL.com. But one of our goals is to always follow up on our investigations. It holds officials accountable, but also gives you the updates you want to see through. So we have another update on a story that we brought you earlier this year, fire escrow.
Yeah, right. Back in February, we first looked into the fire escrow account. Now, this is insurance money that Toledo holds until repairs are made to a fire damaged house. Well, back then we actually found that the city was wrongly declaring some of this money abandoned and putting it into another account. Now, since that investigation, we can now tell you there's nearly been $1 million that's been returned to residents. So in a couple weeks, I'm actually going to be digging a little deeper into these numbers.
That is a lot of money. And again, remember, we are here to help you.
So if you need us, reach out to us at 11investigates@WTOL.com.